Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Shabana Sultana, working as an associate professor in the Chedrol Engineering College. Today I want to discuss about the condensation or the step polymerization in the chapter polymer of engineering students, for the engineering students of applied chemistry. And this, the condensation or the step polymerization, it is the polymerization in which the formation of the polymer from polyfunctional monomers. That means two or more monomers are united together to form a polymer with the elimination of a small molecules like water, HCl. And this step polymerization, it is a very slow process and takes place in a stepwise manner. The functional group of one monomer unite together and it is react with the another functional group of the other monomer. Example for this is nylon 6,6. Nylon means it is a hexamethylene diamine and adipic acid. This nylon is formed by the condensation of hexamethylene diamine. This is hexamethylene diamine. This is hexamethylene diamine. That means this box indicates it is the monomeric chain and attached with the two amine groups. And it is a adipic acid. It is a dicarboxylic acid and they both are united together to form a polyamide with the liberation of water molecule. In the dicarboxylic acid, this OH group and in the diamine, one of the hydrogen group will be liberated in the form of water and forms amide linkage. CONH group amide linkage will get. So it is a formation of the polymer from polyfunctional monomers of organic molecule with elimination of small molecules like water, HCl. Functional group of one monomer unit react with the functional group of another. Example is nylon 6,6. Coming to the another examples are terephthalic acid with ethylene glycol. These two are undergo condensation and forms polyethylene terylate. Terephthalate, polyethylene terephthalate. And this is a ester linkage, COO linkage. In the previous slide, it is a amide linkage, CONH, but COO is a ester linkage. And another example is adipic acid, united with or condenses with 1,6-diaminohexane. Is also the diamine, dicarboxylic acid and diamine. It is also the same thing. It is a dicarboxylic acid and diol. It is a diol. But this is a diamine. They both are undergo condensation and forms nylon. Nylon, it is a amide linkage. And another example, last example is terephthalic acid, which is a dicarboxylic acid. They undergo condensation by reacting with diaminobenzene. It is also the diamine. 1,4-diaminobenzene. It forms Kevlar. It is a structure of Kevlar in which amide linkage are present. It is a amide linkage. So these are some of the examples of polyesters and amides which we can study under the condensation polymerization. Coming to the next one, the copolymerization. Copolymerization means it is a special type of the addition polymerization. It is also the addition polymerization, but some sort of exception is there. What is that exception means? In the addition polymerization, the two monomers are united together to form a polymer chain, but the two monomers are of the same type. That is the homomonomers. And the product will form is a homopolymer. But in the copolymerization, the monomers are united together to form a polymer, but the monomers are different type. Two are different types of monomers are united together to form a polymer. Clear. It is a special type of addition polymerization without loss of any small molecules. The concept for the addition polymerization is the same. In the addition polymerization, the monomers are united together to form a polymer without the loss of the small molecules, that is a water, alcohol, whatever it may be. And in this, the monomer of more than one type are involved, thereby giving variety of polymers. Example, styrene butadiene rubber, which is known as Buna S rubber. Buna S. Buna means it is a butadiene and styrene. It is a combination of butadiene and styrene, and the reaction is carried out in the presence of the catalyst called sodium, which is indicated by the letter Na. See here the example. It is a butadiene. But means 4 carbon atoms in a chain, long chain, with which bears the 2 double bonds. It is a 1,4,1,3 butadiene, and it is a structure of styrene. C6H5, CHCH2, which undergo copolymerization and forms styrene butadiene rubber. So this is about the copolymerization. Coming to the mechanism of the copolymerization, as in the addition polymerization, it also involves 3-step mechanism and moreover the free radical mechanism. And this 3-step mechanism, the first step is the initiation step, second step is a propagation step, and the third step is a termination step. Coming to the first step, that is the initiation step, this polymerization reaction is also involved the free radical mechanism as in the addition polymerization. This free radical is formed from hydrogen peroxide, H2O2. H2O2 is a formula of hydrogen peroxide through the addition of heat. That means the hydrogen peroxide, if it is subjected to heat, the bond gets broken. Homolytic fission takes place in this region. And homolytic means equal breakage of the bond. And the distribution of electrons is also equal. One electron will distribute it to this oxygen, and another electron is distributed to this oxygen and forms the 2 free radicals. And this dot indicates it is a free electron. And this free radical acts to open the carbon-carbon double bond by joining to one side of the monomer. That means whatever this free radical which is formed here, it gets reacted with the carbon-carbon double bond. Suppose if you take the ethylene, which is having eth means 2 carbon atoms. Eth means 2 carbon atom. Lin means double bonded carbon atom. Eth means 2 carbon, and lin, Lene, lin means double bonded. So the free radical, it gets reacted to the carbon-carbon double bond and forms free radical. This bond, this carbon-carbon double bond, in this one is a sigma bond and another is a pi bond. As the pi bond is weaker than the sigma bond, this pi bond, it undergo the cleavage first. It undergo the cleavage first and it undergo homolytic fission. That means the breaking of the bond takes place equally, distributing one electron to each carbon atom. One electron to each carbon atom. That means one electron to this carbon and another electron to this carbon. And this one electron carbon gets united with and it forms a bond with this free radical Cr. OC bond will form, the new bond is formed, leaving behind this free electron on the carbon atom. So this is the initiation step. Coming to the next step, that is a propagation step. This, in the propagation, it is a chain growth step. The process continues with the successive addition of the monomer unit to the chain. The product formed in the initiation step, it is made to react with another monomeric unit. Here also the same mechanism followed. The breaking of the bond takes place equally, that is a homolytic fission, distributing each carbon to each, distributing each electron to each carbon atom, and the new bond is formed between these two carbons, Cr, leaving behind this free electrons. Like this, the process is continues, goes on continues by the addition of successive monomeric units. And the third step is a termination step. Termination means the death step, that is the last step. Once the desired polymer is obtained, the polymerization reaction is to be terminated. The termination should be done with a combination of the two chains. With a combination of two chains. We will take one propagating chain and another propagating chain as N and M. These two will combine together to form another long polymer chain. So this is about the mechanism of copolymerization. Next, coming to the next topic, which is known as techniques of polymerization. How the polymerization takes place. There are two types of techniques are there to undergo the polymerization. They are immersion polymerization and suspension polymerization. Immersion polymerization and suspension polymerization. What is emulsion polymerization? In this, the micelles are formed. See here, the micelles are formed. That means all the surfactant molecules come and gather together and forms a large molecule called micelle. In this, the emulsion of monomer in the water is stabilized by the surfactant. Surfactant has two parts in its structure. This is a surfactant molecule. It is having two parts in its structure. This pointed part is known as hydrophilic end. Hydrophilic end. And the tail part is called hydrophobic end or hydrophobic tail. This is called hydrophilic. The head of the surfactant molecule is called hydrophilic end, and the tail of the surfactant molecule is called hydrophobic end. Hydrophilic, the name itself indicates. Hydro means water, philic means loving, liking. That means this part of the surfactant molecule is a water liking part. It attracts towards the water molecule. Whereas this tail part is known as the hydrophobic end. Hydrophobic means water, phobic means hatred. Water hatred part. I'm repeating. The surfactant molecule is having two parts known as the head part is known as the hydrophilic end, which is the water liking end, and hydrophobic tail is present, which is the hydrophobic end, that is water hatred. During the formation of the micelle, this surfactant molecule is arranged in such a way that all the hydrophilic end is projected towards outside and all the hydrophobic tails are projected away from the water molecule. See here, this is a water molecule, water containing. In this, all the hydrophilic ends are projected towards the water molecule and all the hydrophobic tails are projected away from the water molecule. In this way, the micelle formation takes place. See here. The surfactant has hydrophilic and hydrophobic end in its structure. When it is put into the water, the surfactant molecule gather together into aggregates called micelles. That means aggregation of the surfactant molecule takes place. Gathering of the surfactant molecules takes place to form the micelle. Hydrocarbon tail is a hydrophobic, oriented inwards, and head hydrophilic, orient outwards into the water. The monomer molecule diffuses from the monomer droplets to water and forms the water to hydrocarbon centers of the micelle. So this is the micelle formation. Coming to the advantages of the formation of the emulsion polymerization, micelle formation in the emulsion polymerization. It is a high molecular weight polymer because all the hydrophilic ends and hydrophobic tails are aggregated to form a large molecule which is having the high molecular weight polymer, and the polymerization takes place very fast. That means the rate of the polymerization is very fast and it allows the removal of the heat from the system. Viscosity remains close to that of the water and not dependent on molecular weight. The final product can be used as such and does not need to be altered or processed. So these are the advantages of the emulsion polymerization. Coming to the disadvantages, surfactants and the polymerization, it is difficult to remove. Once it forms a micelle, this is what the surfactant, what we are added and during the process of polymerization, it is very difficult to remove. And it is for the dry polymers, water polymers is an energy intensive process. And it is designed to operate at a high conversion of monomer to polymer. This can result in significant chain transfer to polymer. And it cannot be used for the condensation, ionic, or Ziegler-Natta catalyst polymerization. That means emulsion polymerization can be takes place through addition process, addition mechanism. Whereas condensation mechanism, ionic or Ziegler-Natta catalyst means it is a co-polymerization. Through this two types of polymerization, emulsion polymerization does not take place. So this is about the disadvantages of the emulsion polymerization. Coming to the next technique, which is known as suspension polymerization. Suspension means suspended particles which are settled in the bottom of the water. It is a liquid or dissolved monomer suspended in the liquid phase like water. Initiators are used which are monomer soluble. That means whatever the monomer we are using, in that if we add the initiator, they get soluble. Example, dibenzoyl peroxide. Thus, polymer is produced in heterogeneous medium. The size of the monomer droplet is 50 to 20 micrometer in diameter. The dispersion is maintained by continuous agitation and the droplets are prevented to unite and merge by adding small quantity of stabilizers. That means during the process of suspension polymerization, in this technique, along with the monomer, some sort of initiators and stabilizers are used. The stabilizers used are polyvinyl acetate, PVA, gelatin, cellulose are used. So these are all the organic stabilizers. Polyvinyl acetate, gelatin, and cellulose. So these stabilizers are organic stabilizers, and along with the organic stabilizers, inorganic stabilizers are also mixed along with the organic stabilizers. And inorganic stabilizers are kaolin, magnesium silicate, aluminum hydroxide, calcium or magnesium phosphates are used if necessary. As it is concerned with the droplets, I already told that monomers are in the droplet, and I already showed the diameter also 50 to 200. As it is concerned with the droplets, each droplet is a tiny bulk reactor. The polymerization takes place inside the droplet, and the product formed are insoluble in water, whereas the emulsions, they are soluble in the water. The product separated out in the form of spherical pearls or beads. As it is a droplet, and the polymerization takes place inside the droplet. After the polymerization also, the product will be obtained in the form of spherical pearls or beads. Hence, the technique is also known as pearl polymerization or granular polymerization or bead polymerization. So three names are there for the suspension polymerization: pearl polymerization, granular polymerization, or bead polymerization. See that. Organic phase and aqueous phase. This organic phase contains the stabilizers, and this aqueous phase, along with the monomer, initiators are also there. And in this organic phase, some inorganic stabilizers are also there if necessary. And what are the organic stabilizers and what are the inorganic stabilizers already discussed. So after the rotating of this rotator, the organic phase, that is the stabilizers, are get mixed with the monomers as they are insoluble. As they are, that means the stabilizers and the monomers are insoluble with each other. They form the droplets, and the polymerization takes place inside the droplet. And after the polymerization process is over, the product obtained is in the form of droplets, which is known as polymer particle. So this is about the suspension polymerization. Coming to the advantages and disadvantages. The process is comparatively cheap as it involves only the water instead of solvent. Viscosity increases. Agitation and temperature control is easy. Product isolation is easy as it is in the form of a drop, since the product is insoluble in the water. Coming to the disadvantages, the method can be adopted only for the water insoluble monomers, whereas for the water soluble monomer, this method cannot be adopted. It is difficult to control the polymer size. Polymer purity is low due to the presence of suspending and stabilizing additive that are difficult to remove completely. Suspension polymerization reaction is highly agitated sensitive. Large volume of reactants is taken up by water. The method cannot be used for tacky polymers such as elastomers because of the tendency of agglomeration of polymer particles. Agglomeration means coagulation. So this is about the techniques of polymerization of emulsion and suspension. Thank you.